Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, this is 1990's Getting Lucky. 1990's Getting Lucky. Look at this poster art right here, folks. Actual people from the film. And don't forget that little guy right there on his knee. This is actually distributed by Troma, but it's not made by Lloyd Kaufman or by Troma, but it's distributed by Troma. And this is the back of the DVD here. And it says first time on DVD. And it says in the front, Middlevale High has cheerleaders, jocks, nerds, and a leprechaun. We're going to get into this film right here, folks. Getting Lucky. What a unique, wild, crazy, awesome, sexy film this is. I think this film is pretty damn unknown, although when it was released on DVD by Troma, some years back, there were some murmurings about certain scenes in the film that I heard about, and of course made me want to buy the movie. Getting Lucky really takes the teen sex comedy genre or subgenre of sexploitation and gives it a very healthy dose of extra perversion, surreal fantasy, and weirdness, and really going off the hinges with style and storyline. And even humor, some really great humor in here as well. Getting Lucky details the story of, a young high school guy who's obsessed with saving the world and recycling, yet he really has no type of love life with the ladies. Now, if you think you've heard that all before in a teen sex comedy type of film, you might have, but that's where it ends. Because then things start to get pretty wild in this movie as he encounters, I don't want to give away too much, but a St. Paddy's Day miracle of sorts involving a beer bottle and Ireland and a girl of his dreams. Oh, and panties, pubic hair, vaginal pubic hair, a tennis racket getting shoved into someone's butthole, rape, sword fights with shish kebabs, animal sex, animal fighting. There is so much wildness and weirdness in this movie. A person becoming a cat, a person becoming a midget, this is Getting Lucky is wild. Okay, it is absolutely wild. It was actually directed by someone named Michael Paul Gerard, who also did the music for the film. And when I say music, I say score. There's score, but there's also a lot of pieces of like real 80s sounding pop rock music in the film that's awesome. And he did all of those songs. In the closing credits, I saw his name for all of them, so it's pretty impressive. When we look at the music for Getting Lucky, we have score music that really has an 80s synth vibe. It reminded me at times of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure or Desperately Seeking Susan's score. Really, really good stuff, really in the forefront. And then musically, we have songs that have lyrics dealing with things that are happening on the screen at that time, sometimes very humorously sexual, and real 80s vibe pop rock songs with catchy verses, catchy choruses, really giving you a very strong 80s feel. This was copyrighted 1990 on the film itself, so I'm assuming it was probably, filmed in 89 or, somewhere around there, because you really have a very strong 80s feel in here. But there's like this essence that the 90s might be coming in the vibe, But it's definitely, I would say, a very strong core 80s vibe to Getting Lucky. We have reverb, we have different tonal shifts on characters' voices. Um, their style and cinematography wise, I have to tell you, this Getting Lucky is a prime example because this really looks like a low budget film. Um, in the best of ways. And this is what I mean. I mean, you know, the sound and things like that, you can tell they were not working with a lot of money in this film. But Getting Lucky is a prime example that you do not need money. All you need is creativity and a passion and a drive to make your own world, to push beyond the boundaries and make something in cinema history that is unlike any other movie out there. And that's Getting Lucky. They have some homegrown special effects in this film that most people would, you know, want to form a Kickstarter campaign and raise $50,000 to do these special effects. What Getting Lucky did was they, in the late 80s, early 90s, they did it in the simplest way that anybody could do. But all you need is creativity. And Getting Lucky had that creativity that makes you believe it, that makes you dumbfounded, that makes you shocked. Your mouth is open. You can't believe it. And Getting Lucky does that. There are just great homegrown effects in here that don't need elaborate makeup or elaborate, computer CGI or anything else like that, which it didn't have. But all it needed was creativity, and it shows you what passion can really do, and it's awesome. Stylistically, this movie moves in so many interesting different worlds. We are in the teen sex comedy genre. We're also in the exploitation area. Times getting a little dark at times with the Vice Squad and crime and drug smuggling. We also have romance in the film, a coming of age story. We also have a cheerleader film as well. And kind of teen exploitation film. And, we also have, almost reminded me of the movie The Gate Part 2. We have a bit of like kind of surreal horror fantasy vibes, definitely surreal fantasy, and some really wild, outrageous, slapstick, yet also witty and double entendre humor all throughout this film, but not in a heavy-handed way. It'll kind of come out of a place and erupt onto the screen. Getting Lucky has such an awesome perverted bent to it. If you love cheerleaders, if you love upskirts, if you love a storyline devoted and cinematography devoted to a girl's panties, you're gonna love this film. We even have some stuff with socks and feet in this film. There's definitely some wild stuff, and we have keep your ears open while you watch this film, because you'll hear like a DJ on the radio, or you'll hear a guy on the television just saying outrageous things. There's weird stuff with animals in this film. A cat, dog, horses, monkeys, a National Geographic show on the television at one point. There's just really a lot of like animal references and pieces and to the storyline of here, and even sexually, between animals, of course, National Geographic style. The lead girl in this film, who is right here, she is kind of the lead cheerleader. She's also here on the cover. She is awesome. She's very sexually attractive. Just has a great kind of teen angst, kind of fatigued, worn, pale type of vibe to her. Kind of huskier voice. Almost reminds me at times of like a young Kristen Stewart, or just something about her. And plus, you're going to see her her butt, you're going to see her breasts, and you're going to see a lot of thighs and panty shots in this film for her. So if you're a fan of that, you're going to absolutely love Getting Lucky. There are some sucker punches in this film and some outrageous things that you will never have seen coming, and you won't even believe your eyes and your ears. This film also has outrageous twists and turns where there are multiple times where you think the movie is going to end in the latter portions of the film, and then it just sucker punches you with another twist, with another turn, and the movie just keeps developing. And Getting Lucky is all about surprises. It's all about surprises. I thought it was engaging. It was just really well paced. You have the great kind of teen who is lost. He's the towel boy, you know, his relationship with his mom and his dad, you know, Beverly Hills, California, I believe, and kind of a focus on recycling. And you have the popular cheerleader girl, but you know, kind of dealing with things like virginity and also marriage and Brooke Shields references, and you know, kind of the hard-headed jock. And there's some darkness in this movie as well. There's some disturbing darkness, you know, kind of within the film. There's some outrageous dialogue in this movie, and expressions and reactions to things that, you know, a normal person wouldn't react that way, and it just makes it so much cooler. We have this guy who is a friend who's always skateboarding with a saxophone. He's always skateboarding with a saxophone. It's amazing. There is a sexual moaning sequence in a classroom that is hot and weird and wild all at the same time. Again, I'm seeing things in this film that I've never seen before in another teen sex comedy film. If you want a teen sex comedy that is bizarre and surreal and off the hinges, it almost reminded me a bit of the film Teen Lust, aka The Girl Next Door, which I've looked at on this YouTube page, in terms of like being off the hinges in a way, and just with this beautiful low budget charm. This is 1990s Getting Lucky. Amazing film, very sexual, very wild, very fast, and it's crazy. This is a crazy one, folks. Thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page, where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like 1990s Getting Lucky. Please feel free to check out my own personal films, youtube.com/poopy, Poopy diarrhea. Thank you so much, and good night.